Juvenile Harvest. I'd like to greet our mommies and our daddies, and I pray that whatever the Lord will speak through me this morning will manifest in our lives in the mighty name of Jesus. Ladies and gentlemen, the title of my preaching today is Expectations of Children in the Eyes of God. Expectations of Children in the Eyes of God. Will someone please read the first lesson for me?
Listen to your father who gave you life, and do not despise your mother when she is old. Buy the truth and do not sell it, wisdom, instruction, and insight as well. The father of a righteous child has great joy. A man who fathers a wise son rejoices in him. May your father and mother rejoice. May she who gave birth be joyful. My son, give me your heart, and let your eyes delight in my ways.
The first lesson is basically saying it highlights the importance of listening to the instructions of our parents. I'm sure many of you growing up, you've heard when people say your mother knows what's best. If your mother tells you to do something, your father tells you to do something, they know what's best for you, that's why they're telling you to do it. And they tell you not to do something, they know what's best for you, that's why they're telling you not to do it. It encourages us not to disregard advice and guidance from our parents that can offer us, especially as we grow older. Because they want what's best for us. No matter how much harsh the advice is, no matter what it is they tell us to do or not do, it may seem like they are pressing on you, and I'm sure some people feel like they're pressing on you, they're disturbing you or whatever, but they know what's best for you and they want what's best for you. They don't want you to mess up your future. They want what's best for you. They want you to become someone that's great in life. They want you to become someone that's respectable. So that's why when they tell you what to do, it's in your best interest to listen, because when you don't listen, it's definitely going to play out in a bad way. The passage emphasizes the value of truth, wisdom, instruction, and understanding. It suggests that we should seek these things out and not sell them short. What that means is when they give us these values that we raise when we were growing up, they give us core values like do not lie, do not steal, and all that. These values are something that we should take in our everyday life, and it should become a part of us as we're growing. It should become like second nature, first nature, whatever. Like nobody has to tell us to do it anymore. It should be something we live with, and we should not give these values away, because like these are values that people respect. These are values that help people in life. These are values that build people up. And it says the passage also reminds us of our action that can bring joy to our parents. When you listen to instructions of your parents, it brings joy to them. When the parents send you to school to study, and you listen to the instructions, you graduate. That makes your parent proud. If you go to school and you mess around and you don't graduate, that doesn't make anybody happy, and you yourself, you won't be happy, because your friends are moving on and you're still there. Our actions, when we listen to advice, we make wise decisions. It can make them proud and happy. This is a reminder that our actions have a ripple effect and can impact those around us. If, for instance, you have a friend, and you and your friend is really close with you, and he looks at what you do. The values that your parents tell you, for instance, sometimes your friend lies, and he sees that you don't like to lie. It's either up to him to follow those values that you live with, or not follow them. If I lie, he looks at me and says, okay, he's doing it too, so there's nothing wrong with me doing it. And if I tell the truth, he sees that this is a good value, like it helps, because no matter what there is, where you lie, it's going to come out at some point eventually, and whatever you were trying to cover up, it doesn't make it better because you still lied about it. These are values that we should grow up with. These are values that we should grow up with mentally, and we should be able to teach people that are coming after us, because these are values that move everybody around together. Overall, the passage encourages us to respect our parents, value knowledge and insight they have to offer. When the passage, verse 26 says, "My son, give me your heart and let your eyes delight in my ways." This means what you see your parents doing is what you should take after. If you see your father gambling or stealing or whatever, I mean, you might take after that, but it's not something good to take after. Because what you see your parents do is what you do. You are an image of your parents. And what you do is what your children are going to do. So when it says delight in my ways, when you see your father as an upright standing man, or your parents are upright standing people, you're going to delight in it. You're going to be happy that your parents are people you can be proud of. Your parents you can boast about. Your parents are people you can go out and say, yeah, that's my father there. I'm proud of him. And will someone please read the second lesson for me?
They came to Capernaum. When he was in the house, he asked them, "What were you arguing about on the road?" But they kept quiet because on the way they had argued about who was the greatest. Sitting down, Jesus called the 12 and said, Anyone who wants to be the first must be the very last, and the servant of all. He took a little child whom he placed among them. Taking the child in his arms, he said to them, "Whoever welcomes one of these little children in my name welcomes me, and whoever welcomes me does not welcome me, but the one who sent me."
The second lesson, Jesus teaches us about humility and service. In church, these are things you need to have because in church there are elders around you and you need to be humble when your elders speaking to you. I know personally, just yesterday I heard from a friend that he went off and we told him like, yeah, I know sometimes what they tell you might be like you get angry, but there's a line you don't cross, especially when you're in church and there are elders around. People watch what you do. And when people see the kind of things you do, that either tells their children if they want them hanging around with you. Your actions have consequences. If I come to church and I'm disrespecting people, I'm very sure nobody wants their children hanging out with me. If I come to church and I don't listen to what nobody says, I just do what I want and leave, nobody wants their children hanging out with me. Nobody wants their children to learn from me. I'm very sure nobody will want me up here talking to their children because I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So you need to be humble and you're willing to listen to instructions because they know what's best. They're adults. They've lived a full life. They know. They have experiences. They need to, you to listen to what they have to set down for you and what you listen to what they have to tell you. The disciples were arguing about the two who were greatest among Jesus, but Jesus tells them that that to be first, they must be last and the servant of all. To be last, that means, say for example, you sacrifice your time for the benefit of other people. Because, as a good example, that's what the shepherd does. He sacrifices his time for the benefit of everybody in this church. I'm sure he has things to do. I'm sure he has a family to take care of. I'm sure he has his everyday life. But God called him to do this. God called him to be last so that others can be first. God called him so that he can benefit the lives of other people. God called him so he can influence the people coming up after him. It's not an easy task. It's not an easy task to put yourself last and watch other people move ahead of you. It takes patience. It takes a lot. It's not easy to run a church and watch other people, like, constantly pray for other people's benefit. Sometimes it can get frustrating because maybe what you're praying for other people is happening, but it's not happening for yourself. But it's just a matter of patience. It's a matter of what God has told you to do. And when you do it with full heart of mind, full peace of mind and everything, God will reward you even better than what you're doing for others. He then takes the child and tells them that whoever receives a child in his name and whoever receives him is God. The passage emphasizes the importance of humility and service, the value of receiving others with love and kindness. So, brethren, the summary of everything here today is it encourages us to respect our parents and value like the morals they set down for us. The humility, service, and all that, it's going to take us far in life. Because to get far in life, you can't walk in, say for instance you want to get a job, you can't walk in there and tell them that you want that job and you're going to get that job. You have to be humble. You have to put on your best behavior. You have to be humble. It's a matter of service. When you're humble, you get what you want. And as much service as you put into what you want determines how far you will go in that course that you want. It emphasizes the role that parents play in shaping our lives. It reminds us our actions have a positive impact on those around us, positive or negative impact on those around us, depending on the values that we want to pick up. So I ask to the youth and those coming up, you want to pick up good values that will influence those around you, that will move those forward, or bad values that will keep you behind and probably drag your friends behind you. Brethren, I pray that God gives us the spirit of love, humility, and service in Jesus' name. May we all rise.